You ever driven through a blizzard so thick it feels like the world's trying to erase you? That was me, Jack Thompson, one February night in the Wyoming mountains, my old Ford rattling along a road that had turned into a frozen snake, snow piling up faster than my wipers could fight. My dog, Skoyuta, retired military mutt with a nose for trouble, sat shotgun, ears twitching like he knew something I didn't. Then, bam, his whole body went rigid, a low growl rumbling in his chest. And that's when I saw Ida Sheriff's cruiser smashed into a snowbank, driver's door ripped open. And there, slumped in the drift, was a deputy, blood soaking her uniform, lips moving like she was praying to hold on just a little longer. I'm no hero, all right. I'm just a guy, 38, ex-Army, trying to raise my kid, Ellie, in a cabin 20 miles outside Pine Hollow, Wyoming. Moved there after my wife, Sarah, past cancer, took her when Ellie was barely walking, left me to figure out how to be mom and dad to a girl who asks why heaven doesn't have visiting hours. That cabin, bought with Sarah's insurance money, was my fortress, 40 acres of pine and quiet, far from neighbors who'd smother you with casseroles and God's plan nonsense that made me want to punch a wall. I work remote, writing gear reviews for hunting brands, my military days giving me just enough cred to make it convincing. Ellie, she's 9, sharp as a tack, got her mom's soft eyes, but my stubborn streak can name every tree in our woods, tie a bowline knot faster than I can, even start a fire with nothing but flint and grit. I taught her that stuff not 'cause I'm some prepper nut, but because knowing how to survive makes you walk taller, makes the world less scary. Scout, he's been with us 4 years, dropped off by my old squad leader who said the dog was like me, battle-worn, loyal, needing a new mission. That mission became Ellie. He'd circle her like a sentinel when she climbed trees, sleep across her doorway like a furry barricade. That night, though, everything changed. I pulled over, heart pounding like I was back in Kandahar, checking for ambushes. The deputy, her name was Lauren Carter, I'd learn later was young, maybe 30, tough as nails despite the blood pooling under her. "Don't call it in," she gasped, grabbing my wrist so hard it hurt, her eyes wild with fear, not of dying, but of something worse. "They'll kill us both." Her wound wasn't from the crash, a clean knife slice, meant to look accidental, but screaming murder. She pressed a USB drive into my hand, slick with her blood, and whispered, "Everything's on their proof, sheriff's department. They're running drugs, selling guns, taking bribes." I didn't want this fight me war was raising Ellie, keeping her safe, but Sarah's voice echoed in my head, her dying wish, raise her to do what's right, Jack, no matter how hard. I couldn't walk away. I scooped Lauren up, light as a feather after years of humping 50-pound rucksacks, and got her into the truck. Scout pressed against her, sharing his warmth, while I drove like hell, praying the tires wouldn't slip. Our cabin glowed through the storm, a safe haven until it wasn't. Ellie, in her dinosaur pajamas, saw us and didn't flinch, just grabbed the first aid kit I'd given her last Christmas, real supplies for a kid I'm raising to face reality. "Is she gonna be okay, Dad?" she asked, her voice steady but her eyes wide, clutching her stuffed owl. I patched Lauren up, combat medic skills kicking in, while she spilled the story. Pine Hollow's sheriff, Tom Bradley, ran a racket like a damn CEO. Drugs funneled through evidence lockers, confiscated weapons sold to gangs, cases buried for cash. Lauren, a local girl who'd come back from college wanting to protect her town, had spent months gathering proof, risking everything because she believed in the badge, even when the system didn't. But someone had ratted her out, and that crash was no accident. Then Scout growled, low and mean, and I heard engines, 3 sets of headlights cutting through the snow. Not random. They'd tracked us, maybe GPS, maybe my tire tracks. Lauren tried to stand, shaking, her service pistol in hand. "Take Ellie and run," she said. "I'll hold him off." She could barely stand, let alone shoot. I grabbed my rifle, the go bag I always kept ready, cash, ammo, med supplies, old habits from a life where planning meant surviving. Ellie was already in her boots, sensing danger like a soldier's kid. "Bad guys, Dad," she whispered. I nodded, hating how calm she was about it. We slipped out the back as headlights hit the front, Scout leading us into the woods he knew like his own paws. The storm was brutal, snow blinding, wind screaming. I carried Lauren, Ellie clinging to my back, her arms tight around my neck. Behind us, voices professional, organized, not small-town cops, but a hit squad. We made it half a mile before snowmobiles roared closer. No way we'd reach the old ranger station. 2 miles out, Lauren was fading, Ellie shivering. I veered to a rock overhang we'd found last summer, a shallow cave where Ellie once dug up an old arrowhead. I set Lauren down, built a snow wall, and told Ellie to stay put. I gotta lead Em away, I said, checking Lauren's gun. Can you protect her? Lauren nodded, barely conscious. I knelt by Ellie, her face pale in the dark. Stay with Lauren and Scout, okay? Don't come out till I call. Be my brave girl. Her tears burned my hands, but she nodded. Don't go, Dad. I kissed her forehead, a promise I wasn't sure I could keep. I circled wide, moving like I was back in the desert, silent, using the terrain. For guys in tactical gear, one with a thermal imager, bad news in this cold. I took out the rear guy, quick and quiet, zip-tying him, smashing the imager. He's running north. I yelled, throwing my voice, sending them chasing shadows. I looped back, but Lauren was burning with fever, Ellie shaking next to Scout. We had to move. The ranger station was our last shot, solid walls, defensible, with supplies I'd stashed years ago. That last mile was hell, snow to my waist, Ellie's breath shallow, Lauren mumbling about her dad's old feed store. We barricaded inside, started a fire, but the snowmobiles found us. Headlights pinned us like prey. Then a voice, megaphone loud, cut through the storm. Jack Thompson, it's Chris Malone. Let's talk. Chris, me old squad mate, the guy who'd pulled me from a burning truck in Iraq, who'd brought Ellie that owl she still slept with. Now he was here, part of this. Send out the deputy and whatever she gave you, he said. You and Ellie walk away. His words hit like shrapnel. Use our history. Make it personal. You know I can't, I shouted back. You're better than this, Chris. Remember Fallujah? You defied orders to save those kids. Silence. Then his voice, tired, broken. This is different, Jack. They've got my son photos from a stupid frat party. I had no choice. I felt Ellie watching me, her trust heavier than the rifle. Sarah's words burned. Do what's right. Gas canisters crashed through the windows, smoke choking us. I shoved Ellie and Scout into a root cellar, a cave I'd found years back. Lauren fired twice, collapsing. I fought hand to hand, muscle memory against trained killers, but there were too many. Chris got me in a chokehold, my vision fading. Then Ellie screamed, and Scout hit him like a missile, jaws on his arm, not biting through, just warning. Lauren, propped against the wall, held Chris's gun. Everyone stops, or I shoot, she yelled, her voice steel despite her shaking hands. FBI's coming. I sent the files. A bluff, but it worked. One cop wavered. We're here to kill a kid? That's not what I signed up for. Chris, pinned under Scout, broke. Stand down, he said, voice hollow. It's over. Sirens wailed real once. FBI, state police, swarming the station. Lauren handed over the USB, her evidence sparking an avalanche. Sheriff Bradley arrested, 12 deputies indicted, the whole rotten system exposed. Chris turned witness, trading names for a lighter sentence. His son's future safe, but his soul stained. Lauren pulled through, barely, and took an FBI job, fighting corruption from Denver. Ellie and I visited her, bringing drawings of her as a hero. She bought a cabin nearby, a place to heal, and Ellie, God, that kid invited her to stay.